Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, ladies and gents. Welcome back to another video. Technically my first video, which isn't actually my first video. If you've seen the other two videos that I posted up on 2 weeks ago, Minecraft videos that were pretty shit, then obviously you've seen my first actual videos. I might repost those if I can be bothered. But yeah, welcome to this video. So over on my live on Twitch on my Twitch channel, I've been playing a game called The Midden, which is alright, I guess. We were over there playing that. Yeah, so I thought I'd do a review for it. Thought I would do a review for the game and see how that goes, But of course, before that can start, we've got to do a bit of shameless self-promotion. If you do enjoy this, then don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, share the video with your mates if you enjoy, and drop me a follow over on Twitch at twitch.tv/Gelper456, or drop me a Twitter follow to get notified when I upload or go live and all that over at twitter.tv/Gelper4. I don't really know, to be honest. It's kind of just free flow and see how it goes in it. So yeah, if you do enjoy, do all of that. Yeah, let's jump into it. So during this review, I guess you could call it, just doesn't feel right calling it that. But yeah, I'll talk about some of the good things about the game, what I enjoyed, what I didn't enjoy. And then final opinion. Yeah, and then the first thing I want to talk about, spoilers ahead if you were planning on playing this game, the story. I'll be honest, it was okay. It took a while to get going, but once it was going, you get into it, and you get to the bit with the red house or whatever, and then they're like, yeah, we're gonna end the game here now. I hope you enjoyed. Please feel free to leave a review. And I'm like, bruh, what the fuck? Why would you do this, you dickheads? And then they have a secretive bit after the credits of some fucking twat walking away from a building and fucking sequel baiting. It's stupid. But the story is all right. If you're planning on playing it for like the horror aspect, don't, because it's really not scary. There's like one jump scare in the entire game about halfway through, which is the only scary bit of the entire game. So I guess when you meet the lanky dickhead, as I kept calling him on stream, that's a bit scary the first time you meet him, but all the rest of that is just like, nah, not really interesting. Okay, so the second thing I want to talk about is quite an innovative game, in my opinion at least. If you don't agree, then feel free to argue why it isn't down in the comment section below. But personally, compared to other games that I've played, like Outlast, Senua, that's another game I want to play. I think the idea of it is quite innovative, because you don't really see many games that go exploring a communist fucking society or whatever. I was like, yeah, it's alright, I guess, not the best, not the worst. But I mean, are horror games always that good? No, not really. And then the final thing, which is probably what most people want to know about, the graphics. I personally couldn't care less if a game looks like it's from 1956. If it does, I'm not fussed. Not that any games in 1956 existed, but I don't care about the graphics. Personally, I have a 4K television, so it's not like I'm out here saying, oh, the game looks shit, but it doesn't. It looks okay. It doesn't look bad. It doesn't look good. It's kind of just in the middle. It does the job for the game, but we gotta. It's I don't really know. I'm kind of just rambling here because I don't want to be like, ooh. But yeah, Got a good story, moderately innovative. There's still some other features that you can probably notice if you play a lot of horror games. And the graphics are okay. They're not shit, but they're not good either. So you got the good and the good in it. So I can't really think of anything else good. Is it? Yeah, let's just jump straight into what's bad. Right, I'm gonna start this bit with the fucking controls. Jesus Christ, they are janky as fuck. Who makes it so the fucking running in the game and the walking speed are like 2 seconds apart? If they had a faster running speed, this game would only last for about 4 hours. Like, I understand why they've done it, so the game is longer, but it's just fucking pointless, because you'll be being chased by some fucking weird lanky dickhead, and then you'll just be like, oh no, I'm going to have to sprint, oh no, and then as soon as you get away, you're back to walking, or slightly moderate jogging, which is just stupid. It's like, yeah, where you're a giant scary monster, do some sprinting, and then go back to walking. Stupid. And then the way you can't... I understand why they've done it, because obviously they want it to be like locked camera angles. Why would you want a locked camera angle if the camera angle for like bits where it's a game where you quite obviously need to be able to look around so you can spot different things, but no, they've got a fucking locked camera angle, so you can't even use the I think it's the right stick to look around and stuff. And I'm just like, thanks. How am I going to see things? Like in other games, like Outlast, I understand because that's a third-person game, and you can look around and you can only see in your periphery. But in a third-person game, you cannot have a locked camera angle. It just doesn't work. I'll admit, it works kind of in this game, but just not as effectively as you hope it is. So then I got another point here. It really isn't as scary as I hoped it would be. Like, if I was to get up the description page now of the fucking Xbox store that says, oh yes, this game is a horror game, a psychological horror game. It's just not fucking psychological horror, it's not even horror. They have one jump scare that scared the shit out of me, I'll admit. Twice. But, like, it's just not scary. Like, I could play it in the dark and close and fucking, I don't know, not get scared. It's not scary at all. Or at least it's not as scary as the Xbox store describes it as. And then I've got my final point here, which I've written down, which is probably quite impressive for me, I'll be honest. There's no effective combat system at all. You just get a giant fucking white spirit orb that you can activate every now and again, where you just go through some fucking moths. Or you hold RT for a bit and you get a spirit blast which turns on electricity, which is like the most stupid thing in the fucking world. Like, I want to be able to fight things. I don't want to just have an 8-hour game where I run around looking for clues and have a story that doesn't really flow very well, doesn't really link together, pretty boring characters. I'm gonna be honest, this game is not as interesting as I thought it would be. Like, I read the description on the store, and it's like, it's a psychological horror game based in a communist abandoned holiday camp. But it's just not. It's just fucking boring. The story is not as good as I hoped it would be. Now, obviously, there are going to be other people who believe that this game is actually really, really good. And you know what? I respect those opinions, because this game can be really good at times. At the start of it, when you're at the funeral home and all the lights turn off and shit, that is a good way to start a game. Because you go down in the basement to go do stuff. I'm not trying not to spoil as much as possible, but you go down into the basement to do some stuff, and all the lights turn off, and you see a shadow at the top of the stairs. And you go up there, and there's a shadow, and then you go into someone's office, and in there, everything is destroyed. Whereas you've been in there before you go down into the basement, and everything is fine because you have to find the keys to unlock the door. Then you go into the basement, do whatever you're doing down there. The lights turn off, and then everything, it turns into an actual horror game because it's suspenseful. There's scariness, you know? Whereas you get to the middle of the game, oh no, the lights turned off, and now there's something chasing you. It's all the same. There's nothing new through the game. Like, I get that this game was probably made on a tight schedule during a global pandemic, but you can add a fucking combat system. You can add different methods of horror that aren't like not terrifying, you know? And it's just personally, I don't think it is as good as the fucking critic reviews say they are. Because you got the fucking critics, and they are out here like, oh, this game is fucking amazing! And then, like, you play it, and it's not. So, all credit to the developers. This is a really good game. For some people. If you want an actual scary horror game that is generally a psychological thriller and scares the fuck out of you, play either Outlast, Amnesia 1 or 2, or fucking Senua's Sacrifice or whatever it's called. Now that game, that is a really good game. I played a few hours of that, and it is amazing. And of course now, the final opinion. Overall, which I've really just done that, haven't I? But, you know, my final opinion of the game is it's good, but it's not good enough to meet the reviews and shit that the critics have been giving it. Like, you see the fucking newspaper people, and they're like, oh yes, this game is a 10 out of 10. It's a fucking quality game. But clearly they didn't play it effectively. And then you go on like Metacritic or something like that, and you go through probably about 60 reviews on there from gaming journalists and all that. Gaming journalists, quote unquote. And they're all like, oh, this is amazing. I simped for this game. Oh. And then there's one bad review at the end that says, this game is good, but not good. And it doesn't explain why it's bad. Like, I swear, this is turning into a rant video about gaming journalists, so I'm not doing that. But, you know, it's just like, why? It's just unnecessary to lie about a game. But, you know, they be out here fucking saying shit and lying to you to get you to buy a game, and they're simping for Microsoft or something like that. And you know what? If that's what they want to do, then they can go ahead. But I am not going to be like that. Obviously, I'm still going to say the good and the bad, but I'm just going to be completely brutally honest. Because I don't see why you shouldn't be. It just helps the game developers make games better sometimes. Sometimes they don't listen. Sometimes they do. And when they do, it normally makes games better. You know what? I think that's enough for today. Thank you all very much for coming to watch. If you did enjoy me rambling on for 15 fucking minutes about a fucking basic game, really, I'm going to be honest, it is very basic, very boring. Story was alright, you know, but, you know, whatever. So I'm going to give this game a 6 out of 10. Not because it's a good game, but because it's an interesting game. It's a good, I don't know how to say this, but it's a good game that has been made, just poorly executed. There we go. That's the words I'm looking for. You know what? I'm going to end it here for today. Thank you all very much for coming to watch. If you did enjoy, then feel free to like and subscribe, share the video with all your mates and all that. Like I said at the start, follow me over on Twitter and Twitch. Yeah, we'll be playing next game we'll be playing over there is hopefully it's either going to be Ori Will of the Wisps, I think it's called, or Outlast, or we'll play Senua because I really enjoy that game. Yeah, thank you all very much for coming to watch, and I will see you around. Cheers.